Every baby deserves a chance to be born healthy and to stay healthy, safe and secure. And the Milwaukee Health Department has a number of programs to help parents during and after pregnancy to keep babies healthy. Now a $4.5 million check from the state will allow the city to do even more to improve family health outcomes. It's called the Milwaukee Comprehensive Home Visiting Program.
What we know from experiences in this state, in other places, and around the country is that this will work not only to care for the mother, to protect the child, but to engage the broad community. And programs that do this right succeed. We are committed to design and implement something right, and we have in that the City of Milwaukee Public Health Department as our lead partner.
The purpose of the 5-year home visiting program is to improve birth outcomes, enhance family functioning, support child health, safety, and development, and prevent child abuse and neglect.
What we know is that the good programs have very practical effects. Moms do get earlier and increased prenatal care so that the pregnancy is as healthy as it can be, and the birth weight of the baby is increased. There's improved nutrition during the pregnancy, and again, that'll contribute to a better birth outcome. There's a decrease in maternal smoking if you're working with the mom during that prenatal period, and a greater interest by the fathers in engaging in the pregnancy. All of these things help contribute to a healthier baby. But comprehensive home visiting goes beyond that point. It says not only do we want a healthy birth, but we care about that child being loved and growing up in a nurturing environment. And again, the exciting news is that if we do this right, it can make a dent in the numbers in a lot of other areas. What we know, for example, we talk a lot in this community about the need to do more to improve child safety and improve the child welfare system, and we're devoted to that. We know we have a way to go. But isn't it important to prevent child abuse and neglect? Isn't it important to not let that happen in the first place, to give families the supports they need and the knowledge they need and the intervention, if necessary, to prevent child abuse and neglect? Again, these programs do that.
The City of Milwaukee infant mortality rate remains very high, especially among African American and Hispanic children. The home visit program will target 6 zip code areas in the city, which have been identified as having the highest infant mortality rates in the city.
It is no secret, again, as the Secretary mentioned, of the horrible disparity between children of Caucasian families and children of color, particularly African Americans in this community. And it's something that we have to reverse. We have to end this disparity. It is something that I don't think anyone in this community can be proud of. In fact, it's something that is quite shameful that we have this wide disparity. There are many, many causes for this. There are probably many, many solutions because it's such a complex issue. But the fact of the matter is that we have to do a more aggressive job of making sure that young women and young men who are expecting a child or who have recently become parents have the support necessary, have the education necessary, and have the understanding necessary to raise a healthy child.
The home visit program will begin to enroll pregnant women, new mothers, and women with young children in the summer of 2006. A team approach will be used, beginning family visits during a mother's first trimester of pregnancy and will continue until the child's 5th birthday.
This is our city's and our state's future. It requires us to give it the planning and the time and attention that it needs. The goals of the program are simple: to improve birth outcomes and to enhance family functions. The family affects the birth outcome. We need to support child health, safety, and development. This ties in very nicely with one of the mayor's key outcomes, to improve early childhood situations in the city of Milwaukee. And then certainly, if we did all things correctly, we need to prevent child abuse and neglect to families. So we're going to try to cover the whole area.
As Commissioner Baker said, children are our city's and our state's future. And with the money provided by the state, nurses will be helping make that a brighter future by visiting more children more often. Let's begin with a problem that is heard from throughout the city: cars traveling too fast. Residents all across Milwaukee have expressed concerns about speeding on our city streets, saying these lead-foot drivers are creating a feeling that the neighborhoods aren't safe. One approach this summer, the Slow Down Milwaukee campaign.
Since I've been alderman the last 6 years, and I know I speak for all my colleagues, repeatedly we get calls and concerns from all individuals throughout the city of Milwaukee relating to speeding and reckless driving, and it's high time this city government do something creative to address this problem. And so I'm hoping that this effort, Slow Down Milwaukee, can begin to turn things around and also begin to create awareness to the problem of speeding in our community and the safety dangers that presents.
The Slow Down Milwaukee campaign will include an extensive public awareness campaign, and on many days, in addition to regular speeding enforcement at undisclosed locations, police will actually let drivers know in advance some of the streets that will be targeted on certain days for the campaign.
We want you to slow down. The speed limits that are posted are there for a reason. City traffic engineers have conducted exhaustive studies. Those speed limits are what has been determined to be safe for that particular street. We have obtained funding from the Department of Transportation to conduct extra patrols, so not only will the officers be on duty, traffic officers doing their job, we will have extra patrols out conducting speed enforcement.
Police say speed is a contributing cause to the majority of serious accidents.
Some of it is excessive, some of it is not quite as excessive as 20 or 30 over, but speed is still a factor in these accidents. So we'd like to emphasize again that as it gets warmer out, there's going to be more people out on the street. We ask you to watch for pedestrians. Also, every year we get a brand new crop of young children that learn how to ride bicycles for the first time. Although they are often given instruction on what the rules of the road are, these children, as you know, often don't retain that. So we're asking the drivers to watch your speed, and you watch for these small children and drive defensively so that they don't become another statistic in Milwaukee. Outside of that, we will be announcing daily where we're going to be. It's not going to be any surprise to anybody. They're going to be out there, and the officers have been told to enforce the law, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Alderman Donovan, chair of the Common Council's Public Safety Committee, also wants more citizens involved, from the Senior Warriors citizen group at the Boulevard Apartments to people he's calling traffic tamers.
These are going to be auxiliary officers, auxiliary police officers, and citizen volunteers trained in how to operate a radar gun. They're going to be out in neighborhoods and on streets identifying speeders as well. Now they're not going to be pulling them over. They're not going to be issuing tickets, but what they are going to be doing is we're going to be sending them a warning letter. We're going to be sending them an advisory letter. You have been observed speeding. Watch your speed for the sake of the safety of our children in this community, our senior citizens in this community, for everyone's sake. There is absolutely no substitute for people driving responsibly. There are a lot of idiots out there. Drive safely. Drive safely. That's the message that we want to convey here and now. Again, raise the awareness of the importance of staying within the law.
With the way that they speed here, they don't even sometimes adhere to the stop and go lights. And that's very bad because the seniors have problems crossing the street the way it is. So we're glad that things are being done to help the seniors. Thank you.
Summer, of course, brings out more of the two-wheel variety of vehicles as well, and police want to urge those on four wheels to watch out for those on two. And they have some advice for the motorcycle and bicycle drivers as they share the road with other traffic. Motorcycles are a great way to travel for many, whether for daily commutes, taking care of personal business, or just traveling.
We'd like to remind people of a few general safety tips when they're riding their motorcycles. By far, the vast majority of motorcycle accidents are caused by inexperienced riders taking unnecessary risks. And we'd like to remind riders to ride within the law and don't take risks that they don't have to take. A lot of people decide to try and perform some sort of a stunt on their motorcycle that results in an accident. People drink excessively when riding a motorcycle, which already is more demanding of your coordination. So the coordination is then impaired by the alcohol, and they're taking unnecessary risks by doing that, and that causes many, many motorcycle accidents. Furthermore, drivers should be reminded that motorcyclists are now on the road as the weather gets warmer, and they really need to be more aware of motorcyclists. The most common accident that drivers get into with motorcyclists is when a motorcycle is proceeding straight through an intersection, a driver making a left-hand turn opposing the motorcyclist doesn't see the motorcyclist approach and collides with the motorcyclist. And it can result in some very tragic circumstances and injuries. So we'd really like to ask that motorcyclists be more aware of traffic, especially as they're proceeding through intersections, and that drivers really be aware of motorcyclists as they approach an intersection. Wisconsin does not have a mandatory helmet law unless you're a rider that's under 18 years of age or you are riding on an instruction permit. However, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't consider wearing a helmet regardless of your age, especially if you have a lower level of experience motorcycling. Your odds of surviving a motorcycle accident are greatly improved when you're wearing a helmet, and it is properly secured.
Safe bicycling on many Milwaukee streets has gotten a boost, with bicycle-only lanes being painted on various streets throughout the city. But bikes also have rules to follow. Remember, bicyclists in Wisconsin have the same right to the road as motor vehicles, but also the same responsibilities. By the way, in general, if you are older than 10, you are required to ride in the street. It's actually illegal in Milwaukee to ride on the sidewalk in business districts.
The number one cause of accidents for children are mid-block ride-outs. So if they're driving around in your driveway and decide to ride out into the street, it's one of those things that the parents really need to keep in mind when their children are out playing. For adults, the number one cause of bicycle accidents are, again, similar to the motorcycles. When you're on that two-wheel vehicle going straight through an intersection, a left-hand turn in front of the bicyclist is the motorist's number one problem. So drivers should be cautious when they see a bicycle approaching and take the extra few seconds to judge their speed and distance more carefully so they can better proceed through the intersection without causing an accident. One of the other problems is, again, the same thing with motorcycles. We stress the use of helmets. Proper fit and proper installation of the helmet will definitely reduce your cause of major injuries on bicycles. Most bicycle accidents don't occur with another motor vehicle. Over 50% of them occur with just the rider involved, and that's where the helmet really saves somebody's serious injury.
While there are many thousands of bicycles in the city, the exact number isn't known since many are not registered. But you should know that it is a city law. Registration provides for bicycle identification, theft deterrence, identification of riders, and ability to return recovered stolen bikes to the owner.
The Department of Public Works and the City of Milwaukee have been making great efforts recently to make Milwaukee more bicycle friendly. The League of American Bicyclists just gave us a bronze rating for being bicycle friendly. As a reference, Madison's gold. Madison's a college community. They tend to be a little more bicycle friendly, so that's great news for Milwaukee. One of the ways we got there was striping so many miles of bike lanes, which we did last year. We now have about 45 miles. As Mark said, the bike lanes are for bicyclists. Please don't drive in them. You're allowed to cross a bike lane if you have to go into a driveway or park your car. You're not allowed by state law to pass on the right in bike lanes. Bicyclists should stay as far to the right as practicable. When we have a bike lane striped, that means you should stay in the bike lane, unless you are moving to the left and you're going to make a left-hand turn. Then you're allowed to signal and move out of the bike lane and move over, just as you would on a street where a bike lane is not striped.
By the way, bike registration in Milwaukee is free. To register, just visit the nearest police department district station or any Milwaukee public library and ask for a bicycle license sticker. A sticker may also be obtained by mail from the City License Division. Once the sticker is obtained, log on to the internet at milwaukee.gov/bike.jsp at home or at the library to activate the license.
Milwaukee has a few other city ordinances different from the state vehicular laws. One is that it's illegal and is actually unsafe to ride on sidewalks. And we're not talking about riding down the street with your 6-year-old daughter in front of your house in a residential neighborhood. We're talking about riding down here, downtown. It's unsafe for pedestrians coming out of doorways. It's unsafe for bicyclists because every intersection at a driveway or at a corner is a conflict point, and that's where most accidents happen. So getting around Milwaukee by bike is fun, safe, and healthy if you follow a few simple rules of the road. And if motorists respect bicyclists as well and expect to see us out there, state law requires motorists to also give bicyclists 3 feet when passing until they're safely passed. And everyone uses some common sense.